fighting the not on fighting the old, but on building the new. On this significant day, which is today, the 12th of August, the occasion of the International Youth Day, the Future the Youth Conclave 2021 is an outcome-driven effort to listen to the actual voice of the young Indians and their vision for the future of our nation, standing at India at 75, the vision for India at 100. And as Smita loves to say, this is not an event, it is a project. We mean, yes, it is a project. We have 30,000 plus US students across 345 institutions, across 55 chapters, participating and ideating in 7 major themes, which is the future of health, future of infrastructure, the travel, life, education, agriculture, and technology. The whole sole objective is YI must become a repository of nation's youth thought process. The future will also launch in YI at 75, a year-long engagement towards building the voice and contribution of the youth as India turns 75. Today, this youth conclave is a full-day event split into 3 parts. From morning 9:30 to 1:30, we are having a national-driven event, and 1:30 to 4:30, we have the future happening in 55 chapters across our nation, where the students are ideating about what should be the future of our nation in those 7 different themes. And evening 4:30 to 6 is going to be our valedictory session, which is again a national-driven event. The conclave is being addressed by a diverse panel of distinguished leaders, bringing to the young participants a wealth of experience, knowledge, and ideas. And I have the privilege and take immense pride in introducing a person who's always mostly seen as a villain in the real world, but a hero in the real world. Sonu Sood. Sir, it's a real pleasure to have you here. Sonu Sood, a person who doesn't need introduction, but I think we need to do that. So Sonu Sood is an international film actor, producer, entrepreneur, and social worker. He has won several awards for his work in film. But what is significant here is this is what. He is also a recipient of United Nations Development Program SDG Action Award for his humanitarian work during the COVID-19 pandemic. The story of his migrant rescue mission features in school textbooks in Andhra Pradesh as a lesson in ethics. I think we can't ask for anything more. A fitness enthusiast with an explanatory people skill, Sonu is now a household name. He resides in Mumbai. His wife is Sonali and 2 wonderful sons, Isan and Ayan. We at YI take extreme pride in saying we are committed towards developing responsible youth for the nation. And we have a real hero who has showed the nation and the world what it takes to be a compassionate and responsible youth by action. So we can't ask for a better person to come and talk about what it takes, what it is to be a responsible youth for our nation. Sir, it's a real pleasure and honor to have you here. We have Smita, our national chair. We have Ronak, our national vice chair. And we have 2 of our wonderful Yuva students, Uday and Alvina, who are going to be interacting with you all through the session. But I'm not going to lose my opportunity. I will start with my question saying that what inspired you? What motivated you? What was the drive behind to make this happen? Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. And first of all, thank you so much for making me a part of your family, Young Indians. I think you guys inspire millions, and it's been a journey. You know, I never actually realized when it happened, how it happened, but I think somewhere I was destined to connect with all these people across the nation. And my mom always used to say that when you work hard towards bringing a smile on an unknown face, that's when the destiny will change. So I believe that last 1.5 year has been the most special years of my life, and I started this whole movement. And every single smile that I could see on the roads when they used to leave on a bus, on a train, on a flight, motivated me to work hard, motivated me to do and believe in what I was doing. And slowly the whole movement became like a ripple effect where, the whole nation connected. And today here I am, just trying to do my bit. Yes, still miles to go, but the journey is on.
Thank you so much, sir. I was actually just asking Mohit before we started the question what it is that we are supposed to call you. Can I address you as Sonu Ji? And he's saying
I think Sonu is good. You can. It's only Parle ji. The rest is Sonu. Yes, it's okay.
so he said that he calls you Sonu Bhai, and I said that's not something that I think a lot of us would want to do. So
Sonu is good. Sonu is good. Yeah, thank you so much.
but Sonu, I'd actually want to, before, we've all heard so much about this journey in the last 18 months with the pandemic and all the incredible things that you've been doing, which are sort of really larger than life. But just to take a step further back, I actually wanted to ask you about, what it was before that. And we've seen traditionally, we've got all of these villains or as they're called now, actors in a negative role. And I was just looking through, and you are one of those people who's actually been awarded so many times for playing a negative role, and even to the extent that earlier when the awards were called, the award for the best villain has been conferred upon you. And from that to transition to this kind of a complete reversal of role, if I can say, and which is the real you. Can you talk a little bit about how it was being the villain or the person in the negative role and always the bad guy, everybody that's rooting for to fail?
Sudha, I'm an engineer, an electronics engineer who finished my studies in Nagpur, and I thought, my friends pushed me. They said you should go and try your luck in Mumbai, and I think you can make it. So that pushed me to the city without knowing even a single soul. I came here, started my struggle, and I thought I took 1 year of permission from my parents that just give me 1 year, and if something happens, I'll stay. Otherwise, I'll come back and join my family business in Punjab. But it took me 1.5, 2 years to actually realize which road leads to which office. So I knew the journey is going to be tough, but I have to be patient and really focused to make those dreams come true. And finally, when I got my first offer as a negative role, and okay, beggars are not the choosers, and you don't know anyone in this industry, and you get first time to face a camera in a big film in South, in Tamil film. And you you're not convinced that okay you can play a negative role because you always wanted to play a hero in the movies when you came to the city. But slowly I realized it's just a character that you play with conviction, which people love, hate, or connect with. So slowly, those roles became big in South, and people said, he does negative roles quite convincingly, and a lot of roles came in. I did heroes also, positive roles in Hindi movies also, in South also. But somehow those negative roles got a lot of limelight, and somewhere you feel that you can get typecasted in a certain role. So this is how the filmmakers, conceive the script. Okay, okay, there's a negative role. Let's cast Sonu. He'll do a good job. But I always used to. Choose only the roles that used to excite me or rewrite my roles. Even in Dabang, if you say, I was first, the role of Chulbul Pandey was written by me. Abhinav Kashyap, who was the director, he was an assistant to Mani Ratnam in Yuva. And he said, whenever I'll make my first film, I want you as a hero. And this is how Dabang was written. But when, we went to Arbaz for his role and Salman wanted to hear the story, Salman loved it and he said, I want to play Chulbul Pandey and let Sonu play Chedi Singh. So I was not very convinced. I said, no, I'm not interested. And I said no to that movie. But then they insisted, they said, let me rewrite my role. And I rewrote the whole role of Chedi Singh and I did what I did. But somehow I believe that, in those years of our life, we always used to wait for those calls from a big production house or a good script or a good director. And we thought, okay, man, this is my journey. This is what I came to the city for, and finally it's happening. But then when the pandemic hit and I started doing what I was doing, I realized actually this is the real role of my life. This is where I get the real happiness. And like they say, this was the role where there was no lights, no camera, only action. So I'm glad that I was able to act when it was needed. And today here I am. I feel blessed. I feel more aligned in my life in what I'm doing now.
So I'm going to actually touch upon the Dabang reference that you mentioned, and that's an iconic, reference for all of us. And I think so many of those dialogues are completely ingrained in our minds. But the one thing that I want to know is that it's not. I mean, we didn't know this that actually the role was written for you, and then Salman Khan took that role and he sort of wanted to play it. But there are not many people in the film industry who would be that confident and that at ease taking off their shirts when Salman is in the same frame. So that's and also from the perspective of all of our young students and college goers who are watching you from across the country. Fitness is something that we've really started emphasizing on, especially as part of the pandemic. But your progression and your maintaining yourself throughout all of this, in spite of all the challenges that you faced, you were struggling as an actor. Please, can you tell us a little bit about that and also, help us and make our young people understand what the importance of that is?
So I promised myself when I was in college in Nagpur that I have only 22 hours in a day, and rest 2 hours are only for fitness. So from those days, I took that pledge and that I have to work out every single day, and that I've been doing all these years. When you spend those, and I believe whatever you do in your life, you go to the office, you cook meals for your family, you do business. That's what you're doing for others. Fitness is one thing that you're doing for yourself. Those 2 hours you're just taking care of yourself, so that rest 22 hours you can give your best. So I made that point, and I've been doing all my life. Doesn't really matter the gyms are shut, open. I used to go down for a quick jog, come back, and back to the work that we're doing. So I think it's very, very important to take care of yourself in these times when there's so much of competition. There's hardly any time for yourself, and there's so much of work pressure. So most of the time, the newer generation ignores what's very, very important to be focused on. And they said, "यार आज time नहीं मिला, so maybe मैं कल करूँगा, maybe मैं Monday से शुरू करूँगा, maybe मैं first से शुरू करूँगा, maybe a newer resolution लूँगा जब मैं gym शुरू करूँगा." So I think all these things are very, very important to take taken care of, and just stay focused. So that's what I've been doing, and I love spending time in the gym, taking care of myself, and I think that's what everyone should do. Just get that 2 hours for yourself, and believe that you have only 22 hours in a day.
Absolutely. Another thing that relates to this aspect, and that's something that YI has also been very actively working on, is the mental fitness also. That I think all of us have been challenged with in the last 15 to 18 months. And of course, with your entire journey, it must have always been a challenge to always keep yourself motivated in spite of any failure. And that is something that today sometimes we feel that the youth don't experience or don't understand properly. Even with the whole focus with social media, you're always trying to show yourself to be something which is maybe a little bit more than you are. But how do you keep your sanity in all of this and ensure that mentally also you remain strong?
The word mental fitness or mentally you have to take care, awareness, all these things are we hear every day, and lot of people who actually are not suffering from that problem still get categorized in a thing, or yeah, boss, I'm not feeling good, and yeah, I'm going through that mental depression and all. It's not like that. I would say it's very important to be around your loved ones, address them if you have any problems, and yes, everything has a solution. And like you said, we are living in a world which is lot of digital content happening on our social media, which makes you believe that whatever we see it's true, or we have to follow those footsteps of showing what we bought and what where are we traveling to. So yes, it's a very like they say, the world is also digital. It's not going to stay there forever. So it's very important to be very organic, stay connected with the family, your roots, your especially to the. So yes, it's especially to the generation which is not digitally exposed, and I think that would be your parents, your loved ones, where you can spend a lot of time with them and stay grounded. So I would say, you know, stay non-digital in this digital world.
Sorry about this, Sonu. May I request everyone to mute your audio, please? Yeah, sorry, sorry.
Sorry, Sonu, please.
We all used to it.
So another thing that when we talk about this whole transition from the entire world of films and to this, I know I read a little bit and I've seen a lot of your interviews, and the book is something that we are all very very eager to read. But one thing that is very difficult for us to understand is that we are here today trying to. Sorry, do we have a host on this call?
May I request everyone to mute,
Can
please?
we put a waiting? No, no, I apologize for
No,
the
it's okay.
technical.
Okay. I think you can mute rest of them.
अंकिता हम लोग का इंटरेक्शन सोनू सूद के साथ अभी चल रहा है हाय अरे दिखाए उनका वीडियो ऑन भी किया हुआ आपने हम भी बात करेंगे
Hi, how are you doing?
अभी तक है तुम भी चाय पीते पीते वीडियो
I
ऑन
am
करते हो
sorry, there is been a technical glitch. We're just going live again in a minute.
Okay, it's okay. Let them enjoy.
Sorry, Sonu. Just a minute.
No worries, no worries.
जब तुम अपना वीडियो ऑन करेगा ना मेरे को भी बुला देना मस्त मेरे सैंडविच दिखा सैंडविच
I've not had this experience in
तुम्हारे
a
का एंट्री
Vaya
मुंह में
maybe.
पटाख
I apologize. I don't think this should be your first experience of how Vaya works, but I'm really deeply apologetic. I was only asking that, as individuals ourselves and with whatever little capabilities that we have, during when the pandemic happened and we saw people around us being affected in a lot of ways. But one concern that I have always had, even when we, earlier used to see people on the streets maybe asking for some help, or through through the office or through the family connects or something, there are people who need help. One of the concerns that all of us comes up with is that if somebody is asking you for help, if you help one person, then 10 more people will ask you for help. And I'm sure आपने ऐसा experience किया होगा. When I've seen on your social media also, if there's somebody, one person has asked for a phone and you've said that the phone is going to be there with you, then 10 more people have asked you for more and more and more. And this is one of the biggest things that stops us from wanting to help more, because you don't know what is your capacity and how much can you do, because it's not a country which is a small proportions by any means. How did you manage to, one, have this confidence among yourself, in yourself, that you will be able to go ahead no matter what, jo bhi mangega, you are able to stand up strong and help them? And I've never seen an instance where somebody has asked you for something and they have been disappointed, and then to have this inexhaustible capacity to do it. How does that work?
There's this very nice thing what you said. Someone, I won't name the actor, but he called me. He said, "Ki kaise karta hai tu sir? How are you able to do that? In 15 minutes, okay, oxygen, okay, पहुंच गया. Medicine पहुंच गया. Injections, you have reached the beds, you have got it. Phones, how are you doing it? And कब बंद करेगा तू? When are you going to stop this?" So I told him that I didn't start to stop this. It's not going to end. So I feel blessed that when I bring a smile on an unknown face. And they said, "How do you do it?" I said, I don't think twice calling somebody I don't know for somebody I don't know. We always have people, if you go browse through your contacts, I'm sure you'll have many people, you must have come across many people in your life, in your profession, all of us who are listening to me, who can bring a change by connecting someone. But we always think twice, "Arey yaar, if I call Smita, what will you think? Okay, if I call you for one thing, please do this thing for me," and you'll, okay, it's done. And after 5 minutes, another request comes. Again, I'll call you, boss, this also you have to do. And then another request comes. So you said, no, I'm not going to take that favor. So that's where full stop comes. So I believe it's very, very important um, to not stop before you begin. Like you said, you know that once you help, the whole country is going to change. If I tag someone on my social media, if I say thank you, if I respond to anyone, if I help someone, thousands of messages come to that individual, that please connect us with Sonu, and we want that help. And then they call me back, what to do, sir. We have been getting hundreds and thousands of calls. What should we do, and how to make this happen? But I tell you, when the number of calls, the number of people who want to reach out to you grow and multiply, at the same time, the people who want to join hands with you also multiply. When you help an individual and the dream is fulfilled and they get what they want, so they become a part of your team or volunteer. Said, okay, so no, you saved our life, but please let us know if I can do something. We'll be happy to do it. And they become a part of your chain. So it's kind of a chain reaction that it spreads. It's kind of a ripple effect, and people come forward and say, let's do that. And and that's what I've been experiencing. When I recently went to a state where I met the Honorable Chief Minister of the state, and all the top bureaucrats were sitting. He said, we have the whole government machinery with us. The whole system is with us. And we just focus on one state. But your movements are all pan-India movements, from Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari, to Tamil Nadu, to Assam, to Bombay, everywhere you are there, to Telangana, to Andhra. And if someone calls for a thing or a bed, you said, okay, in 2 hours it will reach Rocky. In the interior of all these states, you're sending stuff. How are you able to do that? And he said, we want to confess there's a very healthy competition between our team, where as soon as a tweet or something used to come, he said, before Sonu, we have to make that happen. कि उसके पास oxygen or medicine reaches before Sonu's hands. And 8 out of 10 times we failed. And you said, "अरे नहीं सर, सोनू से आ गया था हमारे पास, we reached it." And how are you able to do that? I thought, I've been spending almost 20 to 22 hours every single day from past 1.5, 2 years when we are helping. And it was growing, it was multiplying. Even now I'm in Mumbai, I have to go to my workout after I finish the session, but there are almost 100 people standing down the building who have come from different parts of the country with their medical reports, with their job applications, with their whatever need they have. So I have to listen, spend 1.5, 2 hours with them, then I have to go to the gym. And by the time again come back to the gym, there are another 50, 100 standing. Evening again, there are people standing. So this is an everyday job. They come to the sets where I'm shooting. When I'm shooting on a movie set, there are almost 200 people, from a lightman to a sound recordist to a spot boy to an art director. So when they know that I'm shooting with them, so in their circle, in whichever part of the country, their relatives, friends who are living, who have any kind of problem, they'll say, okay, Zono, we are shooting with Sonu Sood on 13th at this location, Film City. You come, we'll introduce. So those people come on the set. So they are there on the sets, and they'll come in between the shot. Sonu, please, can you spend some 5 minutes? We have a friend who's suffering from so and so problem. So we have called them, and can you spend time with them and just sort that out? So this has become a part of my life. So yes, um, uh, I have to give a lot of time to that, but I feel happy. The day I get drained, the day I get tired, the whole movement will stop, and it's not going to stop. It's growing every day. Like I said, I'm connecting with people, like all the people who are listening to me. I would say, please come forward, do your bit. You can say, okay, I'll give, I'm working in an office, I'll give jobs to people. So to 10 people. I'll tell you one very big brand who wanted to do an interaction with me. I said, okay, I'll do only interaction if you employ 100 people from my side. So I'm going to keep on sending you the CVs. Don't take this as a thing that you have to do a favor to me to employ. Just get the best ones who fit into your parameters of your company, and they said, okay, yeah, okay, this guy deserves to be in our company. Give them only. But I'll keep on sending you applications. Until now, I've given jobs to 28 in that multinational company, and those 28 families are doing well for themselves. So I think our session, our interaction, what we're doing right now, and to all the people who are listening, it's going to end in another 20 minutes, and then again we're going to get busy in our jobs and do whatever we are doing. But the main intention of our meeting today should be that, okay, we have met, we spoke, And now we are going to change to more life, maybe a one life. Everyone should pledge that we are going to change one life, employ an extra person, even if you don't need to support a family, or take care of someone's education, or some take care of someone's medical bill, some kind of a thing we have to do. And I think if we are able to do that, so what we did today will be worth.
Thank you. I think that's such a powerful thought. And, exactly that is what we have been saying. Young Indians is an organization that is currently about 3,800 members. But that's not the only number of people that we touch. And that's not the length and breadth of what we can influence. And that's exactly the message that we send, that each one of these people should not be thinking about what's in it for themselves, but thinking about how they can be the people who can actually make the lives of maybe 100 more better. Aapne ek hi bola, I think that itself is so powerful, that even if one more person's lives you can improve, then maybe we have these small little Sonu Soods in the making across the country, and they can all really make the change happen. What we have here today, Sonu, and is because the session today, the entire day is planned as an event which we've called the Future, where we are primarily engaging with young students from across the country. So we've actually, got almost an audience of about 1 lakh students who are going to be watching this program over the course of the next few days. And today itself, a lot of them are live and watching us. We've got Uday here. He's one of our Yuva students, and he would like to talk to you and ask you a few questions with your permission.
Thank you, Smita ma'am. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Sonu sir. My name is Uday Kamal, and I am a final year student of engineering from Pune University. First, I'd like to say that it's more than a privilege for all of us present here that we are getting to know valuable things from you in an interactive manner. And I'll always be thankful for that. And surely, there are thousands of things to know from you, which made it quite hard for me to narrow it down to few questions given the amount of time. And but before we begin for that, I'd like to dedicate a line for you, which is written by the great Bhagat Singh. And I am feeling so happy that you have a frame in your background of the great Bhagat Singh. And it's one of my favorite quotes. So it goes like this: हवाओं में रहेंगे मेरे ख्यालों की बिजलियां, हवाओं में रहेंगे मेरे ख्यालों की बिजलियां, ये मुश्ते खाक है, फनी रहे ना रहे. Which means we are mortal. My life may come to an end, but my thoughts will forever stay in these winds. Sir, I take utmost pride in saying that even after the ending of this pandemic, your thought of initiating what you've done till now and what you're dedicating continue doing it furthermore is far more than appreciable, and will also have a golden place in our hearts and in these winds. And I quoted the words of Bhagat Singh not only because he is an inspiration to me, but also he was the first person whose role was portrayed by our today's revolutionary Sonu sir. And now I'm sure that the question I am about to ask might be running through the minds of not only me but also numerous other people in this nation. When you started helping others, there are surely many people helping the needy ones via NGOs or through individual level. But for those who wish to do this on a large scale, like you did, they'll be facing some obstacles, especially in the beginning. I would like to know from you what were the obstacles that you might have faced, and how you will advise us to deal with those obstacles to keep us going. I'll give you the stage for the answer, sir.
First of all, thank you so much, Uday, for such kind words. I remember those lines written by Bhagat Singh. I had also recited in my movie Shahid-e-Azam when I played Bhagat Singh. So thank you so much for such beautiful words. And like you said, yes, the thought is there, but mostly we always believe that it's very short-lived. Sometimes you think, "Arey, I want to do something." Like we have a session today, and we all inspire each other, and that inspiration stays with us for an hour. So then again, we get busy in our lives, and slowly it fades off, and some way it takes a backseat. This is what happens with most of the people. And this I also feared when I started the whole journey, because kitne logon ko bhejenge? I remember when the first set of 350 people that I've sent um, to Karnataka. So most of the people, I called my friend of mine. I said, कल मैं कुछ ऐसा करने वाला हूँ. अगर मैं कर दिया, तो it will be a life-changing experience. He said, what? I said, I'm going to send these people to Karnataka, 350 of them, and in this pandemic when no one is allowed to come on the roads. So he said, no, it's not possible. So I said, no, that's what I'm trying to do, and somehow, I made that possible. And when those 350 people went with that huge smiles on their faces, and the kids, smiling, and those buses, went to Karnataka and they reached safely. So I knew this was kind of a mission that I want to keep on getting connected with. Then in no more time, people from all across the country were sent by trains, flights, buses. The biggest challenge was a challenge that I used to face every single day. Most of the people I got connected, I never knew them. I never knew the bureaucratic protocols that were needed. The people I was sending them, I never knew them in person, neither their faces nor their names, where they are going to. In the lockdowns, there are no private buses, no auto rickshaws, no trains from getting them transported to one place and then shifting them back to their states was a huge task. And if someone would have told me that, okay, so no, this is the process that you have to follow to send them back home, there might have been chances where I would have said, boss, yeah, this is not going to happen and I'm not going to do that. And it looks like an impossible task. But I took it as a challenge. I said, no, I will make it happen. And then there's not even a single day I left that process, and still I'm doing it. People always talk about the first wave, second wave. There's another wave which came between the first and second wave. There's another wave which is now already on, which we are not able to see that because we are getting busy. We are getting busy in our own lives. But people who suffer from the first, second wave, you talk about education, medical, financial health, the businesses have gone, they've shut. So they are suffering, and the rest of the world has become busy in their normal routine. So this is a more dangerous wave than the first and second, where at least the problems were in limelight, where people said, "अरे यार, oxygen beds नहीं मिल रहे, hospital नहीं मिल रहे, injections नहीं मिल रहे, करो दौड़ रहे हैं, भाग रहे हैं." But abhi bhi, today in the morning, I got a very sad news of a guy I was trying to save. He was from Moradabad, and a family who had lost their parents in COVID in the second wave. This boy was had needed a lung transplant. He was in Delhi, and I flew him down on an air ambulance to Hyderabad. And for past 40 days, he was in the hospital, in Rishoda Hospital, and we were trying to save him. And today, yesterday, he got a bit sick, and today in the morning, I got the news that we lost him. So, I feel very sad when I go through these situations, but that doesn't stop me also. If I lose four people, I save 1,000. So that was my driving force, that I'm not going to stop. Doesn't really matter the kind of challenges that I'm going to face. It has to continue. It has to, the faith that people have put in me, the responsibility that I can feel on my shoulders has to continue the way I've started, and that's what I've been trying to do. I can promise you that it's not important whether you have money, whether you have resources, whether you have connections or not. But if you want to do something, just be a little more patient, and things will happen. The doors will open. You will meet the people who will matter in your life and will make things happen for you. So that's what I have experienced in my life in last 1.5, 2 years, and that's what message I would like to give to everyone. You can make that happen. Just be focused.
Thank you so much, Sonu, for saying those things. I think it's really a very, very, very strong message. And because this entire event is focused on building up this kind of aspect, you can't start being a leader and you can't start dreaming and trying to drive change for the future before you don't start with this kind of empathy and this kind of, building the sort of morally and socially responsible feeling inside you. And thank you for saying this. We also have Alvina with us, and she would like to ask you a question. Alvina, all yours.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Greetings, everyone. My name is Alvina Thomas. I am from IES University, Jaipur. And sir, it's my complete honor to have this opportunity to interact with you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, on 20th of July, you tweeted that जो आम इंसान के लिए कुछ नहीं कर सकता, उससे ज़्यादा आम इंसान कोई नहीं. True enough, that we know that the common man of today is only after money and success. So my question to you is that, being the youth of India, what can we do to generate the elements of humanity and patriotism in today's generation, sir?
Alvina, very rightly put. मैं हमेशा बात करता हूँ कि जब तक कोई खास आदमी आम आदमी को खास बनाने की कोशिश नहीं करेगा, ये देश नहीं बदलेगा. So the people who are privileged, people who have got those resources, they have to come forward and do their bit. Like I said, the people who want to do their give back to the society, sometimes they run short of resources, sometimes they don't have those kind of connections, and they said, यार where to start? Okay, maybe मैं थोड़ा सा बड़ा बन जाऊंगा, अभी तो मैं स्टूडेंट हूँ, और when I establish myself, मैं बहुत सारे पैसे कमाऊंगा, तब मैं ये charity शुरू करूंगा. When I started this whole journey, I started getting a lot of brand endorsements. So they used to say, "Ki boss, aap brand karoge, how much you're going to charge?" I said, "No, okay, keep my monies aside. Whatever you're going to pay me, put the same amount of money in the bucket and let's help others. Pay directly to the hospitals, pay directly to the education institute, pay directly to start building. Let's start building villages, start building houses." So if a steel brand was approached, we started building houses. If a paint brand was endorsed, we started painting villages. If a light brand was installed, I said, okay, I don't need fees, let's light up 20 villages. So I started channelizing those forces towards the needy pockets. So now today, like you said, the newer generation, my nephew and nieces who live in Nagpur, they were visiting me in the first, during the first wave. And they were the ones who used to spend a lot of time on the Snapchat or Instagram or all these social media platforms. So I said, nothing doing. At least you are going to solve at least 4 to 5 cases for me. I'm going to send you those names, number, hospitals, details of the patients. Just coordinate, make sure they reach the hospital, make sure the medicine reaches, make sure the doctors attend them, and let's save those lives. And when they did, they got a lot of blessings from these families, and they said, "कि आपने हमारे बच्चे की जान बचा दी. Thank you so much. आप हमारे के भगवान हो, जो भी." And they felt so happy. They are like, one is 14, one is 16, 17. And they felt so happy. Actually, Sonu Sood, हमें बहुत अच्छा लगा आपने हमें बता दिया, हमें और cases दो. We want to, and the 8 to 10 hours that they were spending on the social media, they started spending on calling people, coordinating for people, sending them books, getting them admitted in schools, hospitals, and they felt very happy. And in their friend circle, they became the real heroes. They said, "यार क्या काम किया आपने, बचपन में आपने इतना काम कर दिया." So there's no age when you can start. There's no formula how to start it. You just have to take that step. Because मेरे पास कुछ resources नहीं है, मुझे पता नहीं, लेकिन मैं काम करना चाहता हूँ. आज, I just started Sood Charity Foundation 1 year ago when the whole pandemic started, because I was doing on my own, and everyone said, "Why not start a foundation where you'll be able to help more people?" Most of the people in my foundation, I haven't met them yet. Most of the people, who have connected with me, they're doing their bit through someone, because I make, okay, Alvina, you are going to handle, liver transplant cases. So you have your own friend circle. You will be telling me, I've done these cases, this is all, and then you'll be speaking to your people, and they are also a big heroes in their, those parameters. So I would say, you have to start it today. You can't say, okay, मैं बड़ा होने के बाद करूँगा. So you can do it today. You can join us. You can connect with me. You can do whatever you want to do it. But I can promise you, there's nothing more satisfying than bringing a smile on an unknown face. That's the best thing that you can do. I've been part of the biggest blockbusters in all the languages, but the kind of happiness that I get saving a life is million times more than any blockbuster that I've done. ever in my life. So yes, let's join hands together and do it. And I've shared that in my book also, which was which you will be able to read. I'm No Messiah, in which all the incidents and all the experiences and all the emotions that I went through while helping everyone. So I've put that on paper also, and maybe now when I come with my second book, I'll again share with you all. So just maybe whenever you get time, just go through it and share your experiences also. Maybe, who knows, may you'll be a part of my second book. And most of the people you see in that book, who were a part of my team, I haven't met them. 8 out of 10, I haven't met them, and they are featured in those my experiences in that book. And now they are the heroes in their family, in their research.
So I think when we're just about to come towards the end of the session, one thing I do want to ask you, and sort of a personal question, is that how is it that your family takes this? And you mentioned, of course, your niece and nephew, but what about your two sons, your wife? Of course, this is probably draining, a huge drain on your time, and all your other commitments are already there. But how does the family cope with it, and how do the two sons look up to their father? What do they think of what you're doing?
They're very supportive. Last 1.5 years, I hardly spent any time with them. I used to sit in one corner of the house, 22 hours on the phone, with a huge roller coaster ride of emotions. And I could just see them walking from one corner to other, and time was passing off. And I used to sometimes, when they used to sleep, and I was on the roads most of the time. So I was also a little bit scared for them that, I shouldn't, get the virus home. So I was not spending time with them literally, but I could see them around. And I used to feel a little sad also that I'm not able to spend the time, and I have all the time in the world. But they were very supportive. They used to get so many messages. My wife used to get so many messages. Help them 2:30 in the night, 3 a.m. in the morning. And they said, save someone in Visakhapatnam, please. Sonu can save. And she used to say, Sonu, yaar, dekhna, raat ko 3 baje aaya phone. Must be an emergency. In the night, 3 a.m. in the night, we're coordinating for ambulances, for medicine, for hospitals. My sons, they get so many messages, and they do a follow-up. Dad, someone sent me a message, please help them. And, we try to, save those lives. So yes, I feel they are also learning from what's happening around them. And I just hope and pray that, the feeling of empathy which they have right now and which they've experienced in the last 1.5 years stays with them, and it passes from one generation to other, so that we can save many more lives. We can, make, Sood Foundation a bigger platform where every single individual in this country is a part of that foundation, and join hand to change the life.
That's so wonderful, and it's really nice. And I hope definitely having you as a role model within the house is going to be a great inspiration for the children as well. So that's really nice. I'm actually going to hand over to Ronak now. He's the vice chair of this organization, and he's the future of our organization as it stands. So he will kill me if I don't give him an opportunity to speak to you. So Ronak, over to you.
Thank you, Smita, and thank you, Sonu. Good morning again. I take pride in thanking Mr. Sonu Sood for gracing us on this occasion today. You are truly a real hero and a real hero, and a beacon of hope and light for so many people. If I had to take one thing from this morning, Sonu, is that you are an embodiment of making initiative a way of life rather than viewing it as an achievement of sorts. Playing all your roles with conviction, 22 hours in a day and rest 2 hours of fitness. That's like an amazing takeaway for all of us today morning. Your words are insightful and inspirational. The line, call someone I don't know for someone I don't, call someone I don't know for someone I don't know, especially resonated with you. I think all of us, since this aversion from networking and reaching out is one of the biggest problems that we face in tackling today's challenges. So I'd urge everyone to make that call, send that text, and pass that smile. We as young Indians also truly believe that if we can make that one change in someone's life, our purpose of our life is defined. We work a lot on nation building initiatives, and we are also a pan-India organization spread across 55 cities in India. We would certainly look for some opportunities to work together in future. Our next session is Celebrating India at 75, which is a road ahead of youth. Thank you, everyone. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Sonu. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Mohit. Thank you, Uday and Alvina.
Thank you, Alvina. Thank you, Uday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.